Hello everyone, welcome to session 23 of Selenium training. In today's session, I'm going to continue the core Java part. So the topic for today is, the first topic for today is wrapper classes and primitive data types. Wrapper classes and primitive data types. Okay, let me explain. So guys, basic question, is Java a 100% object oriented programming language? This is a question, guys. Can anyone answer this question? Or guess it, at least guess it. Is Java a 100% object oriented programming language? Okay. Speak out, guys. Anyone, speak out. I see a lot of things.
Java
Yes.
is not object-oriented programming
Yeah.
language.
Can you tell me any particular reason why it's not 100% object oriented?
Because all this the primitive data types, they are not used as objects. Maybe that's the reason.
Yes, correct, guys. Simple, guys. There are some which I explained in the last sessions, like primitive and non-primitive. In primitive is not object oriented, right? We are not going to create any objects in primitive data types. Because of primitive data types, Java is not 100% object oriented programming language. Just because of this primitive data types, Java is, apart from this primitive data types, complete Java is object oriented, but except primitive data types, complete Java is object oriented, but only the primitive data type is the data types are the area in the Java which is not object oriented. Okay, this is the only reason why Java is not 100% object oriented language. Fine, guys. So this is the reason. Why then? Why? What's the reason why these primitive data types are not object oriented? Why Java has decided to go with this one? Why Java has decided to make this primitive data types not non-object oriented? Why it has not become the 100% object oriented? The only reason here is objects consume a lot of memory and also increase the performance kind of thing, right? So just to overcome that problem, the basic concepts like different data storing concepts were made non-object oriented, guys. Okay, if you keep on creating a lot of objects, it may increase it may consume more memory and all those stuff. Okay, so just for the reason, simple primitive data types are being used in Java and which are not object oriented. Okay, so intentionally Java has made this primitive data types not non-object oriented for its benefit. Fine. So that's the reason Java is not 100% object oriented programming language. But guys, there may be some situation. There may be some situation where we need to use primitive data types as objects. How can that be possible? I want to use primitive data types in one situation as objects. Is that possible? Primitive data types are non-object oriented, but I want to use primitive data types with objects as objects. In some situations in my programming, that particular method or something may not intake primitive data types, but it needs objects only. Only it can intake objects. But but in the program there are primitive data types. How can that be done? Is there a possibility of converting the primitive data types into objects? Yes, guys. Though primitive data types are non-object oriented concepts in Java, still Java has provided a facility where you can convert on your requirement. You can convert these primitive data types into objects, guys. Okay, conversion is possible. Conversion of primitive data types into objects is possible. Okay, just keep this in mind. What is the concept that is supporting this conversion, guys? What is the concept that is supporting this What is the concept that is supporting this conversion? It is nothing but wrapper classes. Wrapper classes in Java are specifically created to convert the primitive data types into non-primitive, primitive data types into objects. Okay, primitive data values into objects. Even reverse is possible, guys. You can convert objects, primitive wrapper class objects into primitive data. Okay, the reverse is also possible. The reverse is also possible. Either primitive data types into wrapper class objects or wrapper class objects into primitive data types. Both are possible, guys. Okay. So whenever you need some data to be in the form of object, you can convert it using the wrapper classes. And whenever you want to have these objects into the primitive data types, you can also make it back to the primitive data types. Okay, I will practically demonstrate this concept, guys. For now, just understand at a high level. Java is not 100% object-oriented language. Okay, just because of these primitive data types, intentionally Java has kept these primitive data types as non-object oriented. Okay, for its benefit. Now, but there may be some situations in the program where these primitive data types need to be used as objects. In that part, guys, wrapper class can be used to convert these primitive data types into objects. Okay, and the reverse is also possible. Objects to data is also possible. So I'm going to practically demonstrate the stuff to you. Okay, let's go to the concepts. So so primitive data types when and then required need to be converted into objects, right? The same should be possible. Fine. Let's go down. What are the different primitive data types, guys? Find out int, short. Randomly I'm writing, guys. Don't follow any. I'm not following any order. Just whatever I get into my mind, I'm just doing that. Int, short, byte, float, double, char, boolean. One more thing is missing, it seems. What is that, guys? Int is there, short is there, byte is there, float. Long, right? Yes. Right, long. Yes, correct, guys. Long. So these are the different primitive data types, right? Int is one primitive data type, short is one primitive data type, byte is one primitive data type, float is one primitive data type, double is one primitive. I'm just boxing it, okay? Just keeping that in a box so that I can map it to the wrapper classes. Okay. Fine, guys. So these are the different primitive data types. How to convert these primitive data types into objects using the wrapper classes, right? Using the wrapper classes, I can convert these primitive data types into objects. So do you think for every primitive data type, there is only one wrapper class? No, right? For every primitive data type, there is a separate wrapper class, guys. Okay. If you want to convert this int primitive data type value into an object, you need to use integer. Okay. This integer wrapper class. So let me correlate. For int, you need to use integer. For short, there is short only, I guess. Okay, there is short. So you see here in integer, I is capital. This is a class, guys. Wrapper classes are classes. Classes will generally will start with capital letters wherever you go. In normal programs also, you can see here demo. How did I write the D? Capital. Classes names will be in capital, guys. First letter in the class will be in capital mode. The string is a class, predefined class. This is a user-defined class. So I followed the what do you call that? I just followed the process. Okay, according to Java, even though it will not check for any syntax mistakes and all, I can even specify D. But according to the process, okay, according to the process, I need to give capital D. Okay, general followed methodology, you can say. Okay, people generally write classes in first letter of the class in capital letter. They follow that. Though it's not compulsory, they follow that. Okay, they write the first letter of a particular class in capital. This is a user-defined class. I intentionally mentioned the first letter of this particular class name in capital. Similarly, string is a predefined class. So and you see this is in capital, right? Similarly, Here I am saying about wrapper classes. Here I am saying about the wrapper classes. The wrapper classes means class. Class name should start with capital letter. This is a predefined wrapper classes, guys. So I, capital I, okay, integer. Full form, int is integer. So full form kind of thing will be there. Here short, capital S and HORT, short. Next one, byte. BYTE, byte. These are all the wrapper classes, guys, for the respective primitive data types. Float. Can anyone guess float? FLOAT, float. Okay. Double. Double. Can anyone guess char, guys? Can anyone guess char? What may be the wrapper class for the char? Can anyone guess? Which one?
Characters.
Yes. Complete character you have to write. Character. Okay, like this. Boolean. It's almost full, so it will be simple. Boolean. Okay. Long means long only. Like this, guys. For every primitive data type, there is an associated wrapper class. Okay, which will help us in converting the primitive data type values into the objects of this particular classes. Fine. So this is the thing. These are the different primitive data types. These are the different wrapper classes: byte, short, integer. You can cross check: float, double, character, boolean. Done, right? Now let me demonstrate a program which actually converts a primitive data type value into object and object back to the primitive data type. Okay, this is a program, guys. This is an example program. I clicked on it. It's not working. Okay, it's launching, guys. Chrome browser is launching. Okay, just give me a second. Already there. Let me remove all this stuff. Okay. Save it. Or else let me create a new project, guys. Better. Slow. Okay, guys. Let me delete this project. Let me delete this class and then delete the project. Right click. Right click. Sorry. Became very slow. One minute, guys. Right click. Delete. I'm just deleting the project. Completely, permanently, I'm deleting. Fine. I got deleted. You got deleted. Right click. New. Project. Java folder. Java project. Next. Okay. Project name. What is the project name? Anything you can give for wrappers demo. Click on this finish. Right click on this SRC. Very slow, guys, today. Class. Okay. I will give some demo class. Demo. Click on finish. Let me close this. Unnecessary software is there. Okay. Fine. Now it will be fast. Public. Static. Void. Main. String array of args. Okay. Now you can understand this thing, right? Okay, this is a string array. This is a object reference of this string array. Fine. So now guys, inside this main method, I have to write the wrapper classes. So I need to demonstrate that, right? I will say int a is equal to some 9. Okay. And integer b. Integer b. So if I have to convert this integer value, into this object, I have to use wrapper class called as integer, guys. Wherever you require to use an integer value as an object, guys, you need to create a particular object reference for this variable or reference for this integer class. Now to this reference b, assign the value of a. Okay. Now system dot, sorry, this is nothing but object, guys. You can even give short form. I will give. Okay. Instead of giving b, I will give object so that you can represent. So int a is equal to 9. If I have to use this, the value stored in this particular variable a as an object, I have to use integer, because this is int data type. I have to use integer, guys. Okay, integer wrapper class I need to use. So this particular reference, I need to assign the value which is stored in the a simply. So now the value, the primitive data type value is getting converted into an object, guys. So if I print system dot, sorry, slow, happened to this. System dot so it crashed, guys. Something happened, it got crashed. Let me launch it again. Today I installed few softwares in my machine, so they are causing the delay, it seems. Let me remove few things tomorrow. Something happened. Demo.java. Yeah, fine. So everything is gone. So let me start fresh. Integer wrapper class object. Object is equal to a. Now system dot out dot print ln. I will print first variable a. Again I will print system dot out dot print ln. I will also print this object of the wrapper class. Let's see whether I will get the same output or not. Right click, run as. Java application. Running for the first time, it may take some time, but from second time it will be fast, guys. Launching demo, 92%. Let it complete so that you can see the result here. Okay, the output got displayed, guys. What is the output, guys? For A, the same value 9 got printed. For the object also, same 9 got printed. Only the thing is that here the variable primitive data type value got converted into an object, guys. That's it. Okay. Now let me convert this any object back to the primitive data type. For let's say I will say integer obj2 object2 is equal to new integer. This is how we create objects, right? So in this I will mention some value 3. Okay. So for this integer wrapper class, I created an object, guys. You see, I created an object and the value I am providing is 3. Now I will say int some x is equal to obj2. Okay, I can do like this. I can convert an object to a primitive data type value. Now if I say system dot out dot println obj2, it may be obj2, it may be x, guys. System dot out dot println x. So when I save it and run it, right click, run as Java application, you see the output. Both got printed as 3, guys. Here 3 got printed, the value 3, here also 3 got printed. That means I can convert an object, wrapper class object, into a primitive data type value. Okay, vice versa is possible, guys. So that's about the wrapper classes, guys. So guys, is it clear so far? Any questions?
No, Arun.
Okay, fine. So let me move to the next part then, in that case. So constructors class, constructors, okay, constructors concept. Let me zoom it. Constructors. Constructors are similar to methods, but have the below differences, guys. So if you understand, you already saw the methods, right? In this, what is a method, guys? In this, main is a method. Along with the main method, I can create few more methods, right? Okay, in a program, this is a main method. Along with the main methods, I can create few more methods: public, static, void. Okay, method A. I can create any number of methods like this: public, static, void, method B. I can create any number of methods inside a class. Inside a class, I can create, inside a particular class, I can create any number of methods and instance variables, right? Similarly, there is some concept called constructors. Constructors are also similar to methods, guys. Constructors are also similar to methods. Constructors are also similar to methods, but there is a difference. There are some differences between constructors and method. Though constructors look similar to methods, there is some differences. There are some differences between the constructors and methods. If you understand the differences between the constructors and methods, then you will easily understand the constructors concept. Fine, guys. So let me demonstrate then in that case. Okay. So let me take a new. So on the left side, I will say methods. Okay. And on the right side, I will say constructors. And we are going to find out the differences between these methods and constructors, though they look similar. Methods and constructors look similar, but there are few differences which make them different from each other. Fine. Constructors have the same name as a class name, guys. Okay. First difference is methods have its own name. You see here, we have created many methods. Main method is there already. Method A, method B. Okay. Some differentiator methods are there. Methods have some unique names. Okay. Unique names or different names have their own names. You can say their own names. This is a better wording. Methods have their own names. It can be method based on their purpose. We provide a name for the method, guys. Okay. But constructors will not have a separate names, guys. Okay. Constructors will not have separate names. Instead, constructors will have the name of the class. So here in this example, what is the class name? Demo. The constructor name will also be demo, guys. Okay. If you have to create a constructor inside this particular class, the name of the constructor should be demo, guys. It should be the class name. Constructors names are nothing but the class names, guys. Whereas method doesn't have the class name. Instead, they have their own names. Whereas constructors have the name of the class. I'll demonstrate that soon. For now, just understand the differences at the high level. Constructors are automatically called when an object is created for the class. So if I have to call this method, what I have to do, guys? From main method, if I have to call this method A, what I have to do? I have to call specifically, I need to intentionally, okay? Intentionally, I need to call this, right? If I have to call this method B from here, method A, I have to intentionally call this. Specifically, I need to mention here, right? So here, what I have to do? I need to write method calling statements to call the respective methods, right? I need to write method calling statements. I need to write this method calling statements to call the respective methods. I need to call them with their name. Specifically, I need to write the method calling statements. But coming here, you don't have to specifically call them, guys. Okay, you don't have to write a method calling statement kind of stuff. Simply create an object. The constructors will be called. When you create an object, the constructor will be automatically called here. Okay, when you create an object for this particular class, a constructor will be called this. You don't have to specifically write the method calling statements. Constructors will be directly called when an object is created for that particular class in which the constructors are available. Okay, so I'll demonstrate that. Just for now, just understand these differences, guys. Constructors won't have any return type. So here, main method has a return type. What is the return type, guys? Anyone? What is the return type of this main method?
Void.
Yes, void is the main method. Some other methods may have the return type as int, something have string like this, right? It can be anything. But in these examples, void is the return type anywhere. So methods have the return type. Okay, methods, for methods we need to specify the return types. Okay, one return type should be there for must, guys. It should be at least void. Okay, if you don't want to return anything, at least you need to provide the void return type for the methods. But for constructors, no return type, guys. No return types. Okay, you don't have to specify even void also. Nothing need to be specified, guys. But for methods, you need to specify. If you don't want to return anything, you have to specify void. If you want to return something, the particular values data type need to be provided as the return type. But here, no return type is required in constructors. These are few differences. So this thing I will explain programmatically. Okay, this you will not understand now. After I explain this program, I will explain this particular line. Till then, just understand this high level differences between the methods and constructors, right? Methods have their own names, whereas constructors name should be same as a class name in which they are getting created. And methods, for methods, if you have to call the other methods from other methods, then you need to call them specifically writing the method calling statements, right? From where you want to call the methods. But in constructors, you don't have to call them. You simply create an object, automatically the constructors will be called. And methods will have return type, whereas constructor doesn't have any return types. Okay, at least here we have to provide void, but here you don't have to specify even void also. So those are few differences, guys. Now let's move to the program practical implementation of whatever I'm explaining. Just move there. Let me explain. Loading. Okay, constructors. So this is the program, guys. Okay, let me create. Okay, let me create a new project. Let this project be there. Let me parallelly create another project. Java project, click on next. Here I will say constructors demo. Click on finish. It will create a new Java project. Here two projects are there. One wrappers demo. And I just have not deleted it. Okay, let that be there. No issues. Or if you feel, I can delete also. It's nothing. So that things will be clear. So right click on SRC. Say new. Say class. Give the class name as demo. Okay. Give the class name as demo. Someone is pinging your chat. Okay. No one is pinging. Fine. So demo class. Inside the demo class, inside the demo class, create a main method. How to create main method? Public static void main. String of fine, guys. So I created like this. Now guys, I'll create another class. In parallel to this demo class, I will create another class, which I will be using as a template class. Okay, car class. Public. Again, should not be writing public, right? Simply I will start with car, because you already know the rules of how to create multiple classes inside the same Java file. So class car, and only main method will be there in the demo class. Here, no main method. Inside the car class, I will write string car model. Only one variable I will create, and here one method I will create, public void start car. This is a method, guys. It has a return type. It has its own name. Okay, this is a class name. Car is a class name, but start car has its own name. Methods have their own names, guys. Based on the requirement, methods have their own names. So system dot out dot println this car model plus started. That's it. Okay. So for sample, I created one variable and one method, guys. So how to create a constructor then? How to create a constructor? Let me create in between this. You can create anywhere. The constructor you can create anywhere in this program. Within this class, I can create anywhere. But let me create here so that I can write it very easily. So what is the first rule? The name of the constructor should be same as the name of the class. What is the name of the class here, guys, in which I am going to create the constructor? The name of the class in which I am going to create a constructor is nothing but the car. So I have to write like this. Public return type will be there. We have to specify the return type for constructor. As I mentioned, constructors will not have any return types. So I will write public car. That's it. Public car. It looks similar to method. You see, starting brace is there, closing. This is where the constructor is starting. This is where the constructor is closing. But the only difference here is the name of the method is named as, even though it looks similar, right? The method kind of syntax is there here. But the name of the constructor will be same as the name of the class. That's what I was saying. Okay. So here I will say system dot out dot println inside car class constructor. Okay, inside car class constructor. Okay. Inside car class constructor. Fine. So now you understood few differences, right? Constructors will not have any return type, and the name of the constructor will be same as the name of the car class. So one more difference was there, right? For calling the method, okay, we have to intentionally specify the method calling statements. So how do I call this particular method? Start car is a method, so it's inside a separate class. How do I how do I initialize this particular variable of this car class, and how do I call this particular method? So for that, I need to create an object for the car class, right? For this, I need to create an object for the car class. How to create an object for the car class? Car object. You can give any name if you want. Maruti is equal to new car. That's it. So, and how to initialize this car model with the object reference, that is Maruti. If I say dot car model is equal to some Swift ID I have to write something, some model ID. This is how I have to initialize the value. Now one more thing here is this Maruti dot, how to call the methods which are there in another class. By creating an object here, using the object reference, I can call this method start car. Now I can say Maruti dot start car. This is how I call the, specifically I have to write the object creation statements, right? Specifically, I have to write the object creation. Sorry. Specifically, I have to write the method calling statement. Sorry. So I need to specifically call the methods. So when I run this program, what will be the output, guys? Can anyone guess what will be the output?
Inside car class constructor will be printed first.
Okay.
And then Swift VDI. 1 second, can you go a bit down? Swift VDI started.
Yes, right, correct, guys. That's because here, when I create an object, automatically this car class constructor will be called, guys. I don't have to specifically call the constructors. Okay, I don't have to specifically call the constructors like I'm calling with the help of the object reference. I don't have to do that. Okay. Instead, when I create an object, automatically this is nothing but the constructor, guys. Car constructor. This is nothing but car constructor. So it will go and it will automatically call when the program execution will start from the main method, and as part of that, first this particular statement will be executed. When an object got created, this car constructor will be called automatically. So what is a car constructor? In car class, there is a constructor known as car. So since this is automatically called while creating an object, the constructor will be called, right? So this particular thing will be printed in the output. Car class constructor will be printed first. After that, again control will go here. This Swift area will be assigned to car model, and then specifically we are calling start car with the help of this object reference. So when start car is called here, you go here, car model. We initialize the car model as Swift EDA, so it will print Swift EDA started. Let me run this program. Right click, run as Java application. You see inside car class constructor, and afterwards Swift EDA started got printed. This is how things will work out, guys. So what if this particular thing is not there? What if this particular thing is not there, guys? What will happen in this case? So will that give any error or it will not give any error? Anyone? So here car class constructor is being called, but there is no constructor. I removed the constructor here. Will anything happen? Okay. Speak out, guys. Will anything happen here in this case?
No, Arun.
Yeah. Yes, nothing will happen because when this car constructor is called, even though there is no constructor specified here, Java by default maintains a hidden and empty in this case the car constructor. Okay, empty car constructor. Empty means nothing will be there in the start and ending of the braces of the car constructor. Okay, so it will be like public car. Empty means public car, starting brace, ending brace, no statement will be there, and this is behind the screens. It is kind of hidden. You'll not see that in the UI, but at the background Java will maintain an empty constructor for every class. For every class, even demo class will also have an empty constructor, but it is kind of hidden. You cannot see that. So whenever this constructor is called, this empty and hidden constructor will be invoked. As nothing is there, nothing will be printed into the output. That's it. That's the reason we are not getting any error, even though this particular constructor is called and this particular constructor is not there in that particular class. On creating the objects, right click, run as Java application. You see this time only Swift VDA started will be printed without any errors. Fine, guys. So empty hidden constructor will be called when an object is created for the class not specified with explicit constructors. That's the reason. Fine. But what is the purpose of the constructors? So far I explained how the constructors are different from the methods so that you will understand what actually the constructors are and what is their syntax and all those stuff. But what is the purpose of the constructors? So purpose of constructors. Why we have to use constructors? How does constructors help us in day-to-day programs? This is what we need to know, guys. Even though we know how the constructors will be there, how they are different from methods, But it is very much required for us to find out what is the actual purpose of constructors. Simple answer, guys. Constructors will make the initialization part easier. This is the only answer, guys. Okay. This job of initialization part will be made easier. I will explain that. How the initialization may become easier, I am going to explain that with some examples. Okay. Initialization of variables. It will simplify, guys. Initialize of the variables will become simplified or easier with the help of constructors. The variable initialization for every class, okay, can be simplified. So to understand how the initialization of the variables will be simplified with the help of constructors, I have two things here. The first example, the first demonstration of a program, I'm not going to use constructors, but I'm going to initialize the variables. Okay, without constructors, I'm going to initialize the variables. But in the second program, I am going to initialize the variables with the help of constructors. When you compare this thing with this one, you will understand why the initialization of variables will be simplified with the help of constructors. Okay. So without constructors, with constructors, you will understand how constructors can simplify the initialization of the variables. So let me start explaining that. This is the first program. Okay. 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 Let me create something. Car model, cost, mileage, and car details. Okay, that's it. One method is there, and then let me see. Okay. So clear the stuff, and here also inside this car constructor, clear the stuff. Let me create freshly. So this is normal demo class. Inside the demo class, we have the main method, and in the same Java file, we have another class called car. In this car class, I'm going to create some variables and methods. So first one is string car model, right? String car model. Other variable is int cost. I don't remember the example, guys. Just so I'm just looking into that. Double mileage. Car model, cost, mileage for every car. Now maybe car details. Public void car details. In this, I am going to print. In this, I am going to print system.out.println. The model of the car is this particular car model. System.out.println. The cost of the car is plus costs. Then system.out. So there is shortcut, guys. SYS control space. Okay. You don't have to type complete system.out.println, guys. Simply there is a shortcut that is SYS. Just simply type SYS and at a time press control and space keys on your keyboard. It will automatically get you the system.out.println statement in Eclipse IDE. This is the functionality of Eclipse IDE, guys. Shortcut in Eclipse IDE. SYS control space. So the mileage of the car is plus this particular mileage. Okay. So I'm done with this. Now, main method. I want to create some objects and call this method. So as per, the object creation is being done here so that I can initialize these variables, and at the same time I can call this method inside this car template. So how to create an object? Car Maruti is equal to new car, and few more objects I want to create. Car Benz is equal to new car. Another object I want to create, car RD is equal to new car. So three objects I created. First object reference is Maruti, second object reference is Benz, third object reference is RD. So for now, what I will do is first I will initialize the Maruti's variables and call this car details as part of Maruti with the help of this object reference Maruti. So how to do that? Maruti dot car model is equal to Swift VDI. Maruti dot Maruti dot cost is equal to some 8 lakhs. Maruti dot mileage is equal to Maruti dot mileage is equal to, so let's say it gives 25 kilometers per liter. Fine, that's done. Now the initialization part is over. Initialize of part of the variables for this Maruti object reference is over. So let me, with the help of the same Maruti object reference, let me call the car details method. Car details, right? This is fine. So just for the differentiation in the output, let me write system dot out dot. Can write the shortcut, right? System, okay, sys out and control space. Simply I will mention this line so that for every object the statements will be printed separately. Fine. Now Benz. I want to initialize this particular variable with the specific to the Benz reference. Benz dot car model is equal to Benz dot car model is equal to Benz A class. Benz dot cost is equal to some 30 lakhs. Now Benz dot mileage is equal to, let's say, only 10 kilometers per liter. Now Benz dot car details. I am calling the method, right? Car details method I am calling help of object. One more thing. Now last one is RD. RD dot car model is equal to RD superhero model. RD superhero. RD dot cost is equal to some 40 lakhs. RD dot mileage is equal to some 15 kilometers per liter. Now RD dot car details method. Sorry. RD dot car details method. Okay, done. So for if I create three objects, I need to write this many number of statements, guys. For every initialization, I have to write these things, right? I need to write this, I need to write this, I need to write this. Okay, save, right click, run as Java application. It will run, guys, properly it will run. So the model of the car is 50 ADA, the cost of the car is 8 lakhs, the mileage of the car is 25, the model of the car is Benz A class, cost of the car is 30 lakhs, mileage of the car is 10, model of the car is RD superhero, the cost of the car is 40 lakhs, mileage of the car is 15. So it's working fine. But only problem that I see in this program is that this many number of steps I need to write, guys. For initialization, I wrote 3 steps. Again for Benz reference initialization, again I have to write 3 steps. For RD, I have to write 3 steps. What if I have like 10 objects? I need to write this initialization statement 10 times, right? So 10 into 3, that is 30 statements need to be written here. So instead of doing this kind of approach, instead of following this kind of basic traditional approach, if I go with a constructor, the initialization will become lot easier, guys. Okay, the initialization become lot easier. How? What will happen when I use constructor is what I am going to demonstrate. Okay. So I'm going to let's resolve these statements, guys. So what I'm going to do is in the car class. So somewhere here, I'm going to create a constructor. How to create a constructor? Public return type won't be there. The name of the constructor should be same as the name of the class. So public car, right? Inside this constructor, I don't want to keep this empty, guys. I don't want to keep this car constructor empty. Instead, I want to write string C, comma, int, sorry, int string cm car model and int cc car cost and then double m double cmi, okay, car mileage, double car mileage, like this. I created this 3 parameters. Constructor can have parameters, guys. I can create like this. So inside this constructor I will write this car model, this particular car model is equal to this cm. Then I will write cost is equal to this cc and this mileage is equal to this cmi. Okay, see, that's it, done. I created a constructor. This time it's not an empty constructor, it's not a non-parameterized constructor. Instead, this constructor has some parameters, guys. Okay, the number of variables here, that many number of parameters I will create here, guys. Okay, the same for this car model. I created a parameter. For this cost I created a parameter. For mileage I created a parameter, and it has the same data types. You see, string string, int double double. Okay, the short forms I written C, CM, CC, CMI, car model. CC stands for car cost. CMI means car mileage. So I am assigning this value to car model, this value to car cost, this car mileage thing to mileage, this particular mileage. So that's fine. Now let's simplify these statements. Simply, you see, when I created a parameterized constructor here, that is a constructor having some parameters here, we are automatically getting some errors here. This car constructor is giving errors here. The reason behind the error is this is non-parameterized constructor, but whatever that we have in the car class is a parameterized constructor. That's the reason we are getting these errors, guys. How to resolve this problem? Simple, guys. For Maruti, these are the values, right? Cut it, paste it here, put a comma, cut this one, paste it here, put a comma, cut this 25, paste it here, remove this part. It's not required. You see, the error got resolved also. While creating the object itself, I will be calling this constructor, guys. I'm going to call the parameterized constructor while creating the object itself. I don't have to specifically initialize each and every variable now. Simply I need to pass these values to the respective constructor. Okay. Now Ben's also same thing, guys. Remove this value here, put it inside the constructor as argument. These are arguments, guys. Whatever I'm doing here, these are arguments. These are parameters. This is the arguments. Constructor is being called from here, and these are the arguments which will be passed to the parameters in the constructor of the class. 10. Remove this, put it here. Done. This part is done. This part is also done. Only the last one left. These 3 statements will be reduced now. Complete literal you need to copy, guys, including the double quotes. Okay. String literal. This is the integer literal. This is a numerical literal. Okay, integer literal. Remove this. This is not required now. Okay, that's it. You don't have to initialize with three statements. Whenever you create an object, you don't have to initialize for each and every variable now. Simply put these things as the arguments and pass them to this particular constructor. What will happen here, guys? The program execution will start from here. Just because of this parameterized constructor, these values will be passed. Okay, this is a Maruti object reference. Fifth VDI will be passed to this constructor CM, and here 8 lakhs will be passed to this CC, and 25 will be passed to this CMI when this particular car constructor is called from this object creation statement. Now this car model is equal to the CM. CM is nothing but 50 VDI. This particular cost is equal to 8 lakhs. This particular mileage is equal to 25 now. So when I call Maruti.carDetails, what will happen? Initialization is already done in this constructor, guys. You don't have to initialize separately now, right? Automatically it is being done. No matter how many objects you create, the same constructor will be called and assignment will be done here. Okay? Repetition, reusability kind of thing is coming here, guys. Okay? So when I call this card details, this particular card details will be printed as part of this particular assigned parameter. These are arguments. This will be passed to the parameters of this particular constructor. Second thing also same thing. These arguments will be passed to this particular constructor and will be assigned to the respective variables. And when printed card details of Benz using the Benz object reference, all the Benz car model details and car cost and mileage details will be printed. Similarly, RD also same thing. Okay. You are passing the arguments and constructor will be called, and when you say card details, all this particular values will be printed from the method. Right click run as Java application. You get the same output, guys. You'll get the same output. Okay. So what's happening here, guys? What's happening here? What is the advantage of the constructors now? Advantage of the constructor is initialization. Simplifies the initialization part. Constructor simplify the initialization part. Okay. Constructors, purpose of constructors is to, if someone asks you what is the purpose of constructors, you have to simply say simplifies initialization. Okay, this is the thing. This is the purpose of the constructors. Okay, this is the purpose of constructors, guys. Fine. So any questions, guys? Any questions in this constructors? Did you understand the constructors concept? Any questions?
Questions as of now.
Okay, fine. No issues. Okay. Fine. Fine. So let me continue, guys. It will not take much time. Let's go till this keyword. This keyword is very simple, so I can explain in the flow. Okay. Let me explain this keyword for this session, and then let's go with overloading from the next session. Overloading and packages will be explained in the next session. Let's complete this keyword. Very simple. Already the program is there ready with us. Simple thing is that I need to use this keyword. Okay. This is the same program. I'm going to use the same program. Do you think why I gave CM here? And I can directly give car model, right? Why did I give CM here? Let's see what will happen. If I say car model, if I say cost, instead of short forms, if I give the original variable names as parameters here, mileage here, what's the problem? So here car model, here cost, here mileage. Okay, mileage. What's happening here? It's giving some warning message saying that there is no effect. You are assigning the car model to the same model. Okay, this car model is this one. This car model is again this one. So nothing is happening, guys. There is no use. So what's happening here is you are thinking that you are assigning this particular car model with this particular parameter, right? It's not happening, guys. Okay, whatever you select, this car model is getting selected. Okay, you see, if I select this one, this car model is getting selected. Cost, this cost is getting selected. Mileage, this mileage is getting selected. But these things are not getting selected. When I say car model, this car model is not getting selected. Let me change and let's explain from beginning. CM, CC, and CMI. Let's say, okay. If I write the CM here, and if I write the CC here, Original representation, I'm going back. Mileage here, CMI. Okay. If I click on car model, what's happening is this car model is getting highlighted, right? When I say double click on this car model here in this particular variable, this is locating this one. When I say what cost, this particular thing is getting highlighted. When I click on mileage, this mileage is getting highlighted. But when I click on the CM, this CM is getting highlighted. CC, this CC is getting highlighted. CMI is getting highlighted. But if I change this into car model, so I want to go with the unique names, guys. I don't want to use two or three variable types for each same concept. For car model, everywhere in the program, I have to use car model only. I don't want to use the CM kind of stuff. Okay. So that readability wise, these things will be easier, right? Now, if I write string CM, can the non-programmer can understand what the program has written here? You cannot read this, right? So when we provide car model, you can understand. But if I provide string CM, no one will understand. So it's better go with the full form only, like this. But the problem with the going full form is that these both are becoming same, right? This is same as this one. This is becoming same as this one. For that, when you double click here, you see this is not getting highlighted, guys, right? When I double click on this variable, initially this used to be highlighted, right? Now this particular variable names and this particular parameters names are same. After they become same, when I double click here, this is not getting highlighted. That means this cost is not equal to this cost. This mileage is not equal to this mileage. But when I click here, this car model is equal to this car model. This cost is equal to this cost. This mileage is equal to this mileage, right? That's the problem. So if I run this program, nothing will happen, guys. Initialization will not be done. You will get errors. You see, right click, run as Java application. All null values. Nothing got assigned. Initialization has failed, guys. Okay, nothing got initialized, guys. Though I am passing the arguments, these values are not getting initialized. You see, null, 0, 0, everything. Blank things are coming up. The reason behind that is we are believing that this car model is this model, but that is not the way, guys. Okay, this car model is this car model. This cost is this cost. This mileage is this mileage parameter only. This part is also this parameters. This part is also this parameter. This part is this parameter. And if I double click here, this is also locating that you are simply you are assigning the parameter to itself, guys. Parameter is equal to parameter. But what we need to do, we need to assign this particular variables with this parameter values. But what's happening inside this constructor now? When I say car model is for car model, this car model is nothing but parameter. This car model is also parameter. So you are assigning the same parameter to the parameter, and you are not assigning that to the variables. So how to differentiate that this is a variable and this is a parameter? How to differentiate that this is a variable and this is a parameter? Simple, guys. To differentiate the variables from the parameters, you have to use this keyword, guys. This dot. Okay, this dot. This dot. This is a keyword in Java, guys. Predefined keyword in Java. Something happened. Control Z. Okay. This dot mileage. Okay. So when I say car model now, this car model is locating this one, not parameter, because this is this dot car model. That means when both the variables and parameters are same, you need to differentiate the variables from the parameters, right? If you say this, that will become the variable. If you don't say this, this will become the parameter. Okay. So this dot car model means variable name. This normal car model means parameter. So now the assignment is properly being assigned. With the help of simple this keyword, you can solve this problem. Right click, run as Java application. Now the things will work fine. Okay, these are working fine. All the proper values got printed here. So if you want to use the same name for the variables and parameters, then you have to use this keyword. Okay, to differentiate the variables from the parameters, you have to use this keyword. Okay, very simple, guys. Very simple.
Arun?
Yeah.
This keyword only used for the variables?
Okay. Yes, variables only.
Okay, yeah.
Variables only. This keyword is mainly used for the variables only, not methods. Okay. So one more thing is that I demonstrated with the help of constructors, right? In this example, I demonstrated for this particular concept for variables and constructors, right? Variables and constructor parameters. But you can also apply the same concept for methods, guys. If the methods also have some parameters, and if you want to have the same parameter names that of the variables, you can apply that for the method or methods also. It's the same concept. This dot car model is equal to parameter name of the method. You can do that. Okay. So take that as an assignment, guys. Okay. So whatever I shown you as part of the constructors, right? Here in the notes, you already have the examples. Okay. Just without looking this example program, just try to implement this keyword with the methods. Okay. Try to implement this keyword with the methods, guys. That's the assignment for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions, guys, before I wind up today's session? Okay. No questions? Fine. Okay. Everyone is pinging your chat that no questions are there. Fine, guys. That's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time, and let's go with the remaining topics of Java. Okay. Overloading packages and other stuff. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Arun. Bye.
Welcome, guys. Bye. See you.